there, I'm Jacqueline. I'm going to tell you a little something. Today's topic is Confessions of a Happy Person. I decided to even just sit here in my tank, layers as little as possible, it's appropriate for YouTube, and share some things with you. This summer I took a trip and I went to my happy place, a city that I absolutely love, and I got away from day-to-day stuff. It's actually the first trip I've ever taken that was about me. It's always been about my children, about my work, about my friends, about my family. And it was really interesting to just step away from the chaos, step away from day-to-day responsibilities of animals and home care and community and all of my appointments and things. I still took care of a couple clients, but most of them were really great and let me take the week off. And what I found was I didn't have to put the perky face on to make everybody feel great. I smiled because I wanted to smile. I was where I loved to be. But I was sad and I cried at times when I was by myself, and it was more about emotions that needed to bubble up. It was about me being raw with me. What I made is a choice. I made a very important decision to feel every emotion. It literally felt like I was walking around naked. I felt so raw. It was so great. I felt real. And one time I was even walking on a mission to get to Central Park to keep working on my spiritual romance novel. I had my red tennies on, a black sweater dress on, and my backpack with my iPad and things in it. And I just love walking New York City streets because they've got great blocks and they're good for stride. I love long steps. I love walking quickly. And you're just moving with a cluster of people. It's just awesome to me. I love it. Some people it's chaos. To me, it's poetic. And this guy walks up to me, and as we're, walking at a good pace, he just looks at me and he goes, "Strong and beautiful." And he said it in just that tone. And I just smiled and smirked at him, and he headed left and I continued. And what really resonated with me was that moment of, I wasn't doing it to make anybody else happy. I wasn't doing it to make anybody else feel great. I was on a mission. I wanted to get to Central Park. I wanted to sit down and work on my book. I was there with my own passion. I was there for my own story. I was there to edit my own story. And I was there to just be real. Eventually, I found a great spot and listened to a trio play jazz music actually for hours. And even bought their CD and still listen to it. And it helps me go right back to that happy place. But what I'm talking about is I went to a place that was mine. I have a lot of people that kind of depend on me for being the happy one, to be the cool one, to be the some person. And honestly, that's really how I am naturally most of the time. But sometimes when you're someone that always is on and always keeping everyone else together, you don't even know what it's like to just be you. And I had to feel that. After I was getting ready to kind of like that midpoint of my trip, my friend came back and he'd been traveling during the first half, so I was really just on my own other than people I met when I was out and about. And it was such a nice time to share time with someone, to get to know a city that I've always loved but through another person's eyes, and just be present with the characters in my book, be present with the environment, the energy, and the people around, and get my own little routine. I had a new morning routine when I got up. I had a breakfast routine. And in those 7 days, I just felt like every step I took was like letting go of another layer, letting go of another block, letting go of another reason to slow me down. And it was like the ultimate weight loss program of the emotional weight. And I remember going through these emotions there, like, when you go on vacation, you say, "I want to stay in vacation," and that you get right back into your old habits. Well, I kept those walls down for a whole nother month, and I'm really working at still keeping them down. I'm working on just kind of saying what the F and not really worrying about that. As a young mom, I had my first kid at 20, and I never really got the freedom just to run and be free like a lot of people going off to college after high school and going and doing things. And I was a solo parent. I raised it by myself. I had family support. But I then had a partner later in life and then had 2 more children. But I was on my own for a long time, but I was also on my own on the download. I always laid low. I didn't do things to attract attention. I didn't do things to get people to really notice me because I just wanted my quiet little world with my son. And then as my world got safer, I got bigger and more vibrant and more confident. And what was really, really, really powerful for me was to realize, though, that as I've been keeping my kids happy and keeping things together and running a business, I've been at kind of a over high octave of enthusiasm for everybody else. And then whenever I'm in a funk, I feel like I need to just disappear, or that I didn't have the right to be that way. And how many times I tell somebody, gosh, I'm kind of having a hard day, or I'm in a funk, or I'm just in a mood, not complaining, but just like, I don't really feel like doing anything. And their automatic response is always, oh, it'll get better. You'll be fine. Oh, don't worry about it. You always figure it out. You always have a solution. You always make it work. You always bring things together. And what I decided in the month of August was to say, actually, no, I don't know if I will. Actually, I'm going to be pissed today. And I actually loved it. I, of course, being a happy person, I still found happiness in being angry or frustrated or disappointed. I let myself actually look at the people that I've let hurt me over the years and stop being like, well, they hurt because I didn't communicate this, or they did those things because they just didn't know any better, or, you know, they didn't pay that, or they didn't follow through with that. Just, well, they couldn't, but I'm glad I could. Instead of like, you know what, I'm disappointed. They hurt my feelings. I put my feelings out there and they were rude or disrespectful or dishonoring. Or maybe it was a matter of, you know, I could have you as a new client, but we're not going to click. So it's not worth letting you sign up just so that I can pay some bills. I was able to say to myself, no, I don't think we're the best fit in everything, whether it was dating, whether it was family, whether it was friends, whatever it was. I mean, I've had people that, you know, unfortunately, because I am an expert advice giver and I'm spiritually gifted, I do get a lot of fake invites. I get people that say, oh, can we get together for coffee? I used to fall for it all the time, but then when I see a pattern, when they see me, they actually ask nothing about me. They're not being a friend. All they want is some free advice. And I finally got to where I'm tired of that. I'm actually going, no, I would rather sit home on my couch and play with my cats and dog. And actually be honest with that I'm not going to just be there for people just because I'm their anecdote. I love that I can be there for the people that are my real friends and that I have a wonderful family. But this was a moment for me to stop being there for everyone. Because what ends up happening is I get depleted. I get flatlined. I am so exhausted. And I know I was raised by a mother that did this all the time, but she passed at a young age from cancer. And I'm determined not to do that. And I want you to think about this. If you're not always happy, that's okay. And you know what? The grass isn't always greener, and it's going to suck, and it's going to hurt. When you're ready, you can move to the next place. But what I think is happening is people are so moving fast through the bullshit and crap and the just nasty stuff. Like when you step in dog shit, you want to rub it off on some grass. But the truth is, sometimes it just sucks, and you just need to hose off the shoes and get yourself a new pair of shoes. It's just the feeling that we need to just go, that sucks. That sucked today. I'm pissed that I got dog shit on my shoes. And you know what? I'm going to go and get myself a fun lunch, or I'm going to go out and I'm just going to sit and watch a movie for a couple hours and take a break today. Instead of, nope, I got to push through it. I got to always be the one who takes care of everything. I can do everything. Well, this is not actually really good. And it was very interesting for me to kind of like, one time I sent a message to a friend of some guy who was dating, kind of pissed me off. And normally she'd always like, well, he's this, and you know, you got to be patient, or he was traveling, or whatever it was. She'd always have something sweet to say. And so I sent her a message and I said, all right, I want you to read this, and I don't want you to say something nice. And she starts laughing at me and she goes, all right, that was stupid. That was not enough. It was a dick move to do, and you should be pissed. And I was like, thank you. Let me have permission to be pissed. Let me have a moment when I'm frustrated. Because happy people, as I'm sure you understand, we don't actually get permission to be annoyed and admit that. And we don't get permission to have a bad day. If we have a bad day, we're supposed to like stay away from everybody. It's like, no, that's why we can turn our music really loud in the car. We can cuss and swear if we need to. I always joke now that all my kids are over 18, I've said more swear words since my son turned 18 that I probably did my whole life, because all I've done is role modeled. So now I'm like, he's old enough, he can handle it. So we kind of giggle about that. But it's really releasing the need to be happy for everybody, to be happy because they love you being happy, which of course it's great. I appreciate the compliment. And honestly, this isn't a, woe is me and oh my gosh, how sad. It's really saying, if you're one of those people, or you know somebody who is the happy person, know that sometimes they need someone to let them be in a shitty place and be okay with it and just be annoyed. It won't last that long. It's not like they're going to go into some depressive funk. It's more of just saying, that's really crappy what somebody just did to you. That really isn't good. Because sometimes we need permission to know that it's okay, that right now we're not going to be happy. We're going to be pissed and actually enjoy being pissed. It's kind of been interesting. I have so had an attitude, and it's been the best thing. I got really real with myself, with my own goals, with friendships that I realized weren't actually real. They were just using me. And I got real with people that I was dating. I was like, whoa, my little black book is thinning out. Because a real man has to step up, not a man that's like, oh, you're hot. Hey, I want to hang out with you because I make them feel better. But what do they do in return? Like, I have some guy on a dating site he's scared of pretty women, so he won't even go out. He's an attractive man, educated, successful, but he has some issues and he has some rejection issues. But he keeps popping on saying, well, I know I'm not ready to go out, but I just like the messages. You just make me feel so good. So can we just keep talking? And I'm going, no, there's no benefit for me. There's no future focused here. And you know what? I get paid for a living to make people feel great. I'm not going to go on some dating site to make some dude online feel great just so that I can keep getting more strokes of street cred. No, I'm not here for you. I'm here for whoever it's mutually for. Not to say that I haven't really been on the dating site and I kind of delete myself out there because so many people are like, you're just so happy. You're so awesome. Well, yeah, I am happy. I am awesome. But I want somebody that I can be chill with. I can be down with. I can have an off day. I can have a moment when I just need some support, but also someone that can say, you know what, that sucks. Let's go out and just go take a walk. Let's go do something. And let me be pissed instead of always trying to have a solution. So it's something I've been doing with my clients too, that when they're in a bad mood or off, it's like, okay, let's experience this. Let's have a shitty afternoon and actually love it. So how can I support you on your shitty afternoon? And you know what? Confessions of a Happy Person. Inside we are truly happy. But let us be pissed sometimes. Let us have an off moment. And I would love for you to comment below and let me know. Are you one of those happy people? Or am I the kind of happy person that you just kind of want to get rid of because they drive you crazy? Or do you have people in your life that sometimes you just go, I just need that happy person around, so I'm going to ask them to go do something. Be the person who also gives back, because the happy person needs a refuel too. So I can't wait for you to comment below. Let me know what you think of the Confessions of a Happy Person.